What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I am at the new house this weekend doing some work in my office. I will show you what I have set up at the end. I'll also explain this at the end of the video. It's just absolute stupidity. But I wanted to come on with you guys and talk some Davante Adams because this has been the week of Davante Adams, whether it was going back to the beginning of the week where Davante was on with Kay Adams on, the FanDuel Network. And she was asking him about Aaron Rodgers, and he was like, yeah, he's still in my ear, which we talked about that early in the week and how that was a really funny quote. And then Aaron Rodgers talked about him at a golf outing, was like, yeah, I can't wait to play with him again. And Breece Hall was asked about it, and it seems like it's something that maybe there's some legs to. And naturally on social media, there's kind of both sides of the argument. You have Jet fans who are running away with it and being super, super, super excited about it. And then you have some guys who are poo-pooing it, not necessarily the idea, but not like that they wouldn't want Davante Adams on the team, but just the likelihood of that happening. My co-host leading the charge, by the way, my guy, not my guy right now, but he is my guy, Jeremy Jets Chaos. So he's putting a little bit of the kibosh on it, but we are going to talk through it and see if it's something that's actually a little bit realistic. So there are some parts of this that I think are realistic or there's some truth to. Now, whether or not it being Davante Adams that they land, that's maybe a different story. But with how the Jets positioned themselves through the draft starting this past year in 2024, they were very active on day 3, moving back and accumulating more picks. One of the trades that they made was they traded one of their 4th round picks for a future 2025 3rd round pick. So they are jumping up around in the draft by pushing that pick off for a year. They did it with, I believe it was Detroit, but moral of the story is the Jets have a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick, and 2 3rd round picks. In a year where you're going for it with Aaron Rodgers, which, let's be honest, folks, that's what they should be doing, you should use those picks to try to acquire an asset and be aggressive at the deadline. And the position that I think makes the most sense is wide receiver because you have Garrett Wilson, who is a no doubt number 1 receiver. You have Mike Williams, who when healthy is very, very good and could be a number 2, but we don't know what he is coming off the injury. And then after that, there's some question marks. We know the Jets like Xavier Gibson, and they drafted Malachi Corley, but that's that's a 3rd round pick who you're asking to play a relatively big role. And then you have like Allen Lazard, Jason Brownlee, guys like that. But Davante seems like the upper echelon, but some names that you could also keep in mind. I know his name's been mentioned forever, but Cortland Sutton at the deadline if Denver's out of it. Darius Slayton with the Giants if they're out of it. Like, I think the Jets realistically could be in a spot where if they're, God knows what, 6-1, something like that, and they're playing really good football, and the Raiders or Denver and the Giants are like 2-6, and they're just going nowhere fast and want to flip some of their assets who aren't going to re-sign with them, who aren't going to be a part of their future plans for picks, then the Jets go, hey, well, do you want, a couple mid-round picks and we can get this guy in here so we can load up and go for a run? I think that is where we see something that's realistic. And I'm not going to be able to include it in this video because I don't really have much editing powers from my phone, and I don't want to get hit with the copyright from Netflix either. But if you've watched or seen the clips from the Netflix show Wide Receiver, then you have seen Davante Adams' frustration last year with the Raiders. It was boiling over when Jimmy Garoppolo was his quarterback, was getting extremely frustrated, talking about, there was a clip of Jimmy G just missing could not be more wide open Davante Adams deep, which probably would have been a touchdown, way overthrew him. And then there were balls that Jimmy G threw that were hospital balls, which if you don't know what that is, essentially a pass that puts your wide receiver in danger if they're going to make the play. So Davante wanting a fresh start, I don't think is some like crazy thought, and having the link to Rodgers makes sense. But again, it doesn't, when it comes down to it, it doesn't have to be Davante Adams or bust. It would be nice to add Davante Adams, but could it be a Cortland Sutton or Darius Slayton or maybe another wide receiver who becomes disgruntled in season and, they want to move? Then yeah, I think that absolutely is something. So if you stuck around, thank you guys so much. I'm going to talk about this. So your boy was a fool. Not last night, the night before. So Thursday, stereotypical or what? I was slicing potatoes on a mandolin, sliced the tip of my finger almost clean off, had to go get stitches. Not fun, do not recommend, 0 out of 10 experience. The the tip of your finger is so sensitive, and if you're a righty like I am, and like not having use of this finger really all that much, because if I graze it on something, I'm seeing stars, isn't the best. But also, I'll give you the update. I'll pick it up. I actually had you guys sitting on my foam panel. So I have my desk set up. I got some foam panels to help with the sound. And also my favorite part so far is the TV stand with the green lights. It's gonna look so good. I got a nice sign that I'm gonna put up here. That's new, a neon sign. I know you guys have seen my Just Jet sign. I'm still gonna keep that, but I'm thinking maybe over in this corner, which won't be on camera. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys next time.